So I was asked a question about my siblings. I have 3 brothers. I have 2 brothers that are older. I'm the third child. And then I have a brother who is younger than me. How old are they? I think my brother John, my oldest, said he turned 70 or he's something like that. Wow. Then the other brother has to be about 67, 68. And I'm going to be 64. Those numbers sound huge. Oh well. Oh, family dysfunction. John, my oldest brother, is the only one I really have any communication with anymore. And it's basically a few little emails. Merry Christmas, Happy Thanksgiving, what's going on, how are you doing? Once in a while, a few times a year. And I have no idea. I think I have a general idea where, what state my other 2 brothers are in. Oh, how do you explain such a thing? Well, there's been family dysfunction forever in my family of origin. I had the father who worked. By the time I woke up for school, he was gone. He always had places where he, seemed to drive an hour there and an hour back, and he didn't come home till about 6. If he went grocery shopping, we didn't see him till 7:38. And weekends he was home. Sometimes he was called in to work. He was an engineer, mechanical. And we started out in New Hampshire. We would move to Ohio near Akron, where he worked for the Sun Rubber Company, the makers of the Hoppity Ball. He was one of the engineers to be a part of that team that created it. As a matter of fact, I was one of the first kids to receive a Hoppity Ball before they were ever put out on the store shelves. We got the prototypes. And he used to bring home a lot of cool toys. My mother, how do you explain my mother? Totally dysfunctional and broken woman. A bit neurotic, paranoid. My father was crazy about her. He was madly in love with her, and such a hard thing to talk about, The dynamic. We did our own laundry. And it was always a frickin' mess. What was wrong? Well, let me think about that. My mother was very abusive. My father was her enabler. She also enabled my the second brother from the oldest. My brother, youngest brother, I'm not going to use names because everyone's still living, and I don't, you never know when someone's going to come across a video, and I don't want to drag anybody through the mud, but my youngest brother is, he was damaged at birth, a forceps birth, and he had brain damage of both his mental and motoring. So, he wasn't always real stable with his walking and, coordination. He did all right, though. I mean, he learned how to do everything, that regular people do, but, he'd never be able to drive or things like that, And I don't know where he is. My mother left things a real mess when she died. She wanted me to take Joey and take care of him. I used his name, but We don't have the same last name, so that's okay. And I had a husband and a little girl. My other 3 were grown up and on their own. And I said, Mom, I'm living in a 1-bedroom trailer, right now with Dennis and Bonnie, and I was at the time, and I said, I can't take Joey. Oh, that's all right, your uncle will take him. Well, that's not exactly how it worked. He had leukemia and he was too sick. Anyway, so my mother left a will, parting her estate into 4 ways, and the damn state and the guardian got all that money because I couldn't take him. I told her, leave the house to me and I'll take care of Joey. If he lives, 5 years after you, I want the house. I wanted something in return for giving up my life entirely, because Joey would probably live longer than I would, right? And it was not easy to care for him. He had diabetes and he had epilepsy, and he just had a lot of issues that it was going to be really hard. And Dennis was so willing to do that. Boy, was I angry about how everything had turned out. Come to find out that she changed the will because that second from the oldest brother, I guess, went to her house, and I don't know if he roughed her up, but he put holes in the wall. He wanted his share of the house and her car, and he got both. She never told me about it, and I was left with a real mess. We were already estranged, and my brothers and and I stayed in touch with my mother and Joey, we'd see him every summer when we moved to Florida, and I don't know, it just really caused problems. There were already serious problems, but I tried to buy my mother's house from my brothers because Joey had a share and I had a share, but they were so greedy, yeah. They wouldn't give me a price. Just tell me what you want. What do you want? Whatever it goes for. That's what the butthead one was saying. The other one just wouldn't answer me. John, he wouldn't answer me. It was the most heartbreaking thing I think I've ever been through. Damn. I want to close my eyes and make it go away, but it won't go away. I ended up being the one. Somehow that other brother managed to talk his way into executorship, even though he wasn't playing with a full deck. I had to go. First, my mother called me. She says, something's wrong with me, Nikki. My legs are swollen right up to my thighs. I said, it's your heart, Ma. You gotta go to the hospital. I'm afraid. I said, call Andrew, her brother. He's gone now. Get over there. It was edema, from her. She had congestive heart failure. She'd had heart trouble for a long time. Her doctor told her, you need an operation. She wouldn't go. She was afraid she'd die in surgery, And, oh, God. So I was in Florida, and she calls me. I'm in the hospital, she says. And I said, where's Joey? She says, he's at home. And I said, with who? She said, he's alone. I said, Dennis, let's get the car packed. We've got to get up there now. So got in the car, and we drove all night, 24 hours, and we were there. Joey was all right. But that was scary because he should not be alone. As a matter of fact, he locked himself out of the house while I would be there, and ended up walking to a neighbor's house. It was the most horrible 2 months, I think, of my life. Here, we were trying to get ready to do our antique shows for the season. We were going to put a well and septic in land we had in Virginia up in the Blue Ridge Mountains. We were getting it ready for, our retirement, semi-retirement, whatever. I always wanted a country home. We had, how many acres was that? 7? Wooded. I had originally had another piece that was like all mountaintop, and you could see panoramic view, Buffalo Mountain, just everything around you is gorgeous land. I sold that, though, down the line. Anyway, I get up there and I see what the will says, and I'm like, wow, what do I do? I'm like, you know what, I'm just not going to do anything. And my brother John came and saw his mother and saw the will. He was satisfied. He said, I can't do this, I'm going home. He always said that it was toxic. The home, the memories, the family, toxic. He was right. It was toxic. The dynamic was so sick and so... everything was... can't let the neighbors know. You can't let the family know. You can't let anybody know about anything. Everything was a secret. Everything was a secret. Oh, the secrets. So, somehow, I ended up, my life was taken control of. Poor Dennis had to stay with Bonnie and Joey while I went and tried to sort out all this legal crap for Joey's sake, I was going to try to take him anyway, and I couldn't get anybody to bond me so I could become his guardian. And so finally, one of the insurance guys said to me, don't do it. Let it go. A friend of mine said, let it go. People I went to church with said, let it go. Remember one woman, she looked at my husband, and it's almost like she could see the future now that I think about it. I always wondered what that look was on her face. She was standing there in Sims Park in Florida, and she was looking at Dennis intently, and she said, look, Nikki, as a Christian, you're not obligated. That's not your child. That's her child, and she needed to take care of this, not you. I let go, and then I took it back, and then I had to let it go again because it was too late. The deal was done. State had guardianship. They gave him a guardian, and he went to live with some guy originally in Manchester. I don't know. I think he lost the house back in 2008 that, everybody went under, and he shouldn't have gone under. He was getting $5,000 a month to take care of Joey. And I had a really bad taste in my mouth for my other 2 brothers. I hated them. I hated them. There's still something inside me that still partially hates them. And yet, the other part of me says, look what would happen 10 years later. Would you have been able to handle a failing Joey and a dying Dennis? I would have lost my mind. Joey had to have certain foods and at certain times, and he had to have meds and at certain times, and some of those meds did not agree with him well, and there would have been a lot of work. And I was almost 50. things work out the way they work out. Maybe they work out the way they're supposed to be. I don't know. I never saw the other brother again. He was calling me every day while I was in the house. Get out of that house! I want to sell it! I took the executorship away from him. I took him to court and I said, this man's not playing with the full deck, and I found a lot of things from, the courthouse against him. And I brought those up in court and they took it away and gave it to a lawyer. We lost a lot of money because of that, but we would have lost a lot more if that brother had stayed the executor, because he would have wasted a lot of time, money, and efforts, and he just wanted me and his retarded brother out of the house so he could have his share. He wouldn't let us use my mother's car. Joey had mobility problems, and all I had with me was a van, and it was very hard on Joey, very hard on us to get him in and out of it. It was a really awful time. That brother, I'll never speak to ever again. John, I know he's been through a lot, and I'll keep in touch. It's nothing close, it's nothing real, it's just, how you doing? And Joey, he'd cry every time I call, get me out of here, get me out of here. And he didn't want to come with me anyway. He didn't want to come with me and Dennis. So I said, you want to get out of there, talk to your, caseworker and have them get you out of there. John kept in touch with my brother Joey, and he said, sounds like everything's okay and that he's taken care of. And while my uncle was alive, he checked up and made sure that he was. So that's it. Estranged family, dysfunctional family. Some things you just can't fix, and that was one of those things we couldn't fix. You can't sometimes fix completely, utterly broken. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Thanks for being there. Thanks for watching.